Hello, everyone, and welcome to the quarterfinals of the Season 2 Invitational Weekend here on the SCG Tour, the conclusion to Season 2 of the SCG Tour, brought to you by the wonderful people over at Ultimate Guard and Twitch. Cedric Phillips, Patrick Sullivan, we are here in the booth. Nick Miller is down in the feature match areas. We're getting ready to watch Michael Hamilton on your left with TEMUR Energy, your number 2 overall seed, against Sam Black on your right, number 7 overall seed with 4 color energy. Both players happy enough with their hands as we are underway. Hamilton with a Botanical Sanctum into an Ether Hub. Little energy there for Sam Black. It is a Rootbound Crag as he head to the second turn for Sam. Looks like he just drew a copy of Attune with Ether. But Patrick, no 2-drop for Michael Hamilton.
And I think that's pretty rough here for Hamilton. One, because it dampens a lot of the power of being on the play, and two, because I think his deck, the leaner and more efficient of the two, but maybe a little bit less powerful, really well served by getting off to a fast start.
Sam going to get himself a basic island off of the Attune. He's up to 2 energy, of course. For Hamilton, no 2-drop for him, so he better have a Rogue Refiner or a Whirler Virtuoso turn number 3. He's got to get to the battlefield as Sam plays another copy of Rootbound Crag and simply passes the turn back. The longer the game goes, the worse it is, most likely for Michael Hamilton, because that's where Sam's power cards do take over. In Vraska, Relic Seeker, and the Scarab God, Sam has 2 copies of each. There's a Rogue Refiner, there's 2 more energy, and there's a card coming from Michael Hamilton. Back over to Sam Black will go. Picked up a copy of Botanical Sanctum. That'll be land number 3 for Sam. And he's got a Rogue Refiner as well. For you, one of the best cards in Standard?
I think the best one.
Yeah?
I think it is the best one. I imagine it correlates most highly to winning the game when drawn.
Well, each player does have one. So each player off to a good start. We'll probably see those 2 creatures run into each other here momentarily. Yep, can't trade fast enough. Sam just looking to play more turns, get to those black spells. Here's a tune for Michael.
Also loading up the graveyard, you know, pretty powerful incentive when you have the Scarab God in your deck and your opponent does not.
Absolutely.
If you would like to play Standard this morning, we'd love to have you over at Side Events.
Michael gonna tune, go up to 5 energy, get himself a basic mountain. We'll be going back over to Sam in just a bit. See if Michael has a follow-up play here in just a moment. He would like to continue to get to the battlefield. The more removal that Michael draws, I actually think it's kind of worse for him. Yeah. He picks up copies of Braid, and obviously Harness Lightning is going to be totally fine, and Confiscation Coup also fine. But here's a Rogue Refiner. There's the second one of those. He's up to 6 energy. That's pretty good here. So he's going to get to draw a card and pass the turn back. He keeps his presence on the battlefield as we head back over to Black for his 4th turn. Picked up another Botanical Sanctum. Did Sam. Sam will play an island. Is this maybe a Chandra? It is. Going to minus most likely. He's actually going to plus to Harness Lightning to take care of the Rogue Refiner. So that's actually kind of the best of both worlds.
Yeah, and it gives the Chandra a little bit of an extra cushion of loyalty here to be able to survive even a Glorybringer attack next turn.
Question about how much time is remaining in the round at any given point. Please don't hesitate to call one of us. We're happy to help you with that.
So Chandra on 5 out of Glorybringer range.
Modern Open players at this time, I'd like to welcome you to round number 11.
Hamilton with another hub. So he's going to go up to 7 energy. Now perhaps it's time for a Whirler Virtuoso? It is. Up to 10 energy, which means that Michael can make a couple Thopters here to pressure Chandra. But for now, we head back over to Black for his 5th turn. Rogue Refiner the draw for Sam. No black mana just yet for Sam in his 4-color energy deck, but you have to imagine with the tunes and hubs and servants, he'll get there eventually.
It is one of the reasons that in spite of 4-color energy being so powerful, that TEMUR Energy remains the more popular deck of the 2. The Swamp is not free, and adding black mana is not free. I think that's part of the reason why Fabiano cut the Glorybringers out of his list too, is de-emphasize double red a little bit.
And Gerard's build of this deck, if you haven't seen it, make sure you do head over to our coverage page at StarCityGames.com. Very unorthodox build for Fabiano, but he's #1 overall seed. He went 8-0 in Standard, started the tournament 12-0, so it's been a heck of a run for Gerard. We'll get to him in the next quarterfinal. For now, we got Sam with a Servant of the Conduit. Chandra's going to go up. Looks like it's going to add some red mana. Bristling Hydra will be hit with an Essence Scatter. couple main deck copies of that for Michael Hamilton this weekend.
Just the one.
Okay, fair enough, only one. Black with a Botanical Sanctum to end the turn. And now will Hamilton start to make a couple Thopters here? Looks like he's going to make 3.
Yes.
Start to check that Chandra. So Hamilton will untap. And it's time for him to draw.
Interesting with Hamilton deciding to use the Essence Scatter there against a target pretty low value at this stage of the game in Bristling Hydra. It suggests to me that Hamilton has aspirations to be tapping out over the next couple turns.
In we go. Chandra down to 1. Sam with no good blocks, of course. A 2-3 attacking into a 2-2. And those Thopters he can't block in the first place. Hub going to come down here for Hamilton, so another energy is going to bring him up to 2. 1 away from creating another Thopter. Hamilton's drawn 3 hubs this game, but his mana still appears to be pretty good. Down to 1. And now here's a Bristling Hydra going to bring him back up to 4. Pass that turn back over to Black. Black has picked up another copy of Botanical Sanctum, has a Mountain in hand as well. The question is, does he have his power cards at this point? Does he have Vraska? Does he have Scarab God? Does he even have Glorybringer, a card he's playing 2 copies of? We haven't seen any of them just yet. And Bristling Hydra, one could argue a power card, got countered by Essence Scatter.
Although the Servant of the Conduit might have been the real prize for Sam on the previous turn, with now having access to black mana. A lot of his power cards now are online.
Sam going to start by plussing and revealing with Chandra. That's a Rogue Refiner. Excuse me, that's an Ether Hub. I take that back. Ether Hub is going to deal Hamilton 2. Sam does have Glorybringer in hand. But you see that Michael does have up a Mountain and an Island. Harness Lightning probably at the ready. Sam's got some real decisions to make right now about what he wants to play and how he wants to play it. Looks like he's going to use Servant. That's the Scarab God. Sam is really hoping this sticks.
Yes.
Because he needs it right now, folks.
I mean, even at this stage, even Harness Lightning, not a permanent solution by any means, but the tempo here from Hamilton would be excellent.
Yes. Well, Hamilton with no Harness Lightning. He's just going to untap those Thopters, that Whirl of Virtuoso, all those lands, and can't forget about the Bristling Hydra that he has out there. 4-3 right now, but could get larger.
And that's why the burden is on Hamilton to be the aggressor here. You exchanges like Harness Lightning your Scarab God and buy a little bit of time. When you're on the front foot and you're attacking, that's really good. When you're behind or the board's neutral and you can't attack, that's not a long-term solution.
Now, one thing that Hamilton does have in his hand, and it's a main deck copy of a card generally in the sideboard, is Vizier of Many Faces. He's going to see the Thopters in the air go after Chandra, the Whirl of Virtuoso. The Thopter and the Bristling Hydra are going to go after Sam's life total. Sam's going to put the Scarab God in front of Whirl of Virtuoso. Bristling Hydra and the Thopter are going to deal some damage. Those Thopters are going to kill Chandra. Now, if he didn't have Harness Lightning, it probably means he has a Braid.
Yeah, Vizier plus a Braid would make sense as a follow-up here.
Well, here is Vizier of Many Faces. That's going to copy the Scarab God. Spire Bluff Canal. A Braid is going to take care of the Scarab God, or at least it's going to try, and it will work. So the Scarab God will be coming back eventually, but not right away. And now Michael Hamilton with a commanding advantage, Patrick.
Yes, way ahead on the table. And he'll kind of have the initiative with the Scarab God, untapping with a lot of mana and the Scarab God first.
Black's hand, I believe, just 2 lands. He's going to play a Mountain. I take that back. He does have that Glorybringer still, but the Glorybringer in this spot, meh.
Exactly. It is meh.
I think it doesn't do much of anything. Now, Sam's going to cast it because it's, you know, what he's got to cast. But I don't even know if there's a good attack to be had here.
Or it could be attack and don't exert.
Yeah, which is not exciting.
Right.
it's interesting, as good as a card as Glorybringer is, there's no doubt about its power level. Right now, not particularly good as we head back over to Hamilton. Sam returning the Scarab God from the graveyard. However, it is Michael Hamilton who gets to untap with an active copy of the Scarab God thanks to Vizier of Many Faces. And there will be the Scarab God's trigger on the upkeep. Hamilton taking a look at the graveyards. See if there's anything he wants to reanimate with the Scarab God's trigger on the upkeep.
Just get back a Rogue Refiner. You're doing it anyway. You might as well do it now.
You want the Rogue Refiner instead of maybe the Whirler Virtuoso that died?
Yeah, I want a Rogue Refiner.
You love Rogue Refiner.
I don't love it. I think it's really powerful.
Here's a Scarab God activation. There you go.
There you go.
You got what you wanted. You got what you wanted. Rogue Refiner is back via the Scarab God. Little energy, draw a card. There's a Scarab God's trigger now is going to resolve. And now Hamilton will draw a card for his turn, further cementing his advantage. And look, he's got another copy of Rogue Refiner in his hand. Maybe Rogue Refiner leads to winning games.
It might.
You think there's a correlation there?
It's because of the rate. It's because the card, for the amount of mana it requires and its opportunity cost, is very powerful.
Yes.
We have 7 players right now, so just one more. We'll be able to get that event started. If you'd like to play standard right away with us, please come see us at side events.
Hamilton going to think things through here quite a bit, and I like this because does he have a good advantage? Yes, no doubt about it. But when you're playing the top 8 against arguably the best player in the top 8 and certainly the most accomplished one, don't get too far ahead of yourself. That's what I would say.
And he has to worry about the Scarab God getting redeployed. Might be thinking about the implications of Vraska. My instinct here, as someone with not a whole lot of reps in the TEMUR Energy Mirror, would be just to kill the Servant of the Conduit with a Braid and attack with everything.
Okay. Don't leave that one hanging around. It does cut the black mana.
It cuts the black mana off, and it makes the attacks a little bit easier. I don't know. I think also following up with just another Rogue Refiner or a Whirler Virtuoso post combat is fine as well.
It looks like this is going to be a double block on the Scarab God. A Braid is going to take care of the Servant of the Conduit, which means Glorybringer is going to bite the dust too. Sam's going to take a bunch of damage. I think Sam's going to take one more draw step and probably call it quits here.
Well, Hamilton's play was much better if he thought he was going to get the double block out of him.
Which he did. Long Tusk Cub, no thank you. As Michael Hamilton's going to win game number 1 here over Sam Black. TEMUR Energy winning game number 1 over 4 Color Energy. Most notably here, Michael Hamilton with no 2-drop. To not get on the battlefield all that quickly. His first play to the battlefield was Rogue Refiner, but one could argue if you're not going to have a 2-drop, that's the best 3 you can have.
And his 1-ofs there were really impactful. The 1 copy of Essence Scatter was a great type of play, and the 1 Vizier copying the Scarab God is really what cemented Hamilton's advantage.
Game number 2 will be underway here between these players in just a moment. No sideboarding for game number 2. That's why they're already shuffling back up. So while they do that and get ready for game 2, here's a few quick messages from our sponsors. Game number 2 about to be underway here between Michael Hamilton and Sam Black. Hamilton able to win game 1. I was almost going to say break serve, but he was on the play, and, being the number 2 overall seed has its advantages, I would say.
So keep in mind, with the structure of 3 out of 5, we play the first 2 games without sideboards. Then we go to the sideboards here. So these players just shuffle up and deal, ready to go for game number 2 with Black on the play.
Black was able to deploy the Scarab God, one of the cards he is splashing for in game number 1. However, a Vizier of Many Faces from Michael Hamilton, his 1 main deck copy, came up big. Copied Sam Black's Scarab God. He was able to get Sam's Scarab God off the board temporarily. And that was that, folks. Now we'll see if that happens again here in game number 2. But for now, Sam going to take a look at his opening hand. Michael will do the same. Looks like both players are happy. We're underway here. Sam going to start game 2 like he did with game number 1 with a Rootbound Crag. Over to Hamilton, who's gotten a tune, I'm sure. There we are. Sam, got to help him out there. I know your die's on too. I've seen this before. I'm sure we will see it again in the top 8 as he'll search up a basic forest.
Looks like Hamilton has an opening here of a tune into Cub. A lot better on the play than on the draw, but we'll see if Sam's able to handle that kind of opening.
Well, Sam no Cub, but he's got 2 energy of his own thanks to Servant of the Conduit. So not only is that going to ramp him up a little bit, but it will also facilitate his 4th color in black, as we're going to head back over to Hamilton in just a moment. Remember that Hamilton did win the Hour of Devastation release weekend event in Cincinnati earlier this year, as Harness Lightning is going to take care of Servant of the Conduit with a very innovative 4, sometimes 5 color control deck that had Dovin Bond and Nicol Bolas and heaven knows what else in that deck. It was a very innovative deck. We don't see it anymore, but it was right for that weekend. Sam with the Spire Bluff Canal. There's a Whirler Virtuoso, a little more energy. He's up to 5, so we're going to head back over to Michael Hamilton. Hamilton with a Forest that he searched for with a Tune. There's the very powerful Rogue Refiner.
Cool.
Or the Virtuoso the draw there for Michael.
Because of the rate.
You get it. You get it.
Because 3-2 draw a card for 3 would just show up in decks even without the energy bonus.
That's true.
And because the energy cards are already so good, well then, there you are.
Yes. You have a great way of explaining things.
Yep.
A real knack.
It's simple sometimes.
Yeah. Sam with a pretty nice turn here. Multiple spells in a turn. Magma Spray going to take care of Rogue Refiner. Whirl Virtuoso and a token going to attack for 3. Hamilton should be down to 17. And then, of course, Long Tusk Cub, the follow-up as we head back over to Michael. Michael going to play Whirler Virtuoso. Trigger, a little more energy here. He's going to go up to 7, which means he can make 2 Thopters. But notably, no 4th land here for Michael Hamilton, so we're going to go back over to Sam Black.
Yeah, after attuning and Rogue Refinery.
Sam's got some mana. Sam's got a Chandra. And Sam is going to plus a Chandra and play a Braid on Whirler Virtuoso. So this is another nice turn here for Sam. 2 spells in 1 turn. Yes, Michael can make 2 Thopters, but these Thopters are outclassed in the battlefield.
And this allows Black a little bit more preservation here with the Chandra. If Hamilton doesn't want to block here, the Long Tusk Cub triggers, a bunch of damage comes across, and Black is not at risk of something like Glorybringer coming back and killing the Chandra along with the Thopters because Hamilton has been missing land drops.
Looks a little bit like last game. However, Sam's got a much better battlefield this go around.
I've seen a lot of players, you know, lesser skilled players in spots like that, just, I'm going to Chandra and I'm going to make sure that I get my value out of it. I'm going to kill something and, you know, force them to attack on the way back. And Black in the first 2 games has shown I'm trying to leverage this a little bit more, willing to use the mana going up, using a removal spell, and trying to finagle the loyalty to squeeze more out of it. And he's still always got the option of cashing out and killing something if he feels like protecting the Chandra is no longer sustainable.
Thopters will trade. Hamilton's going to take 4. Sam will, I'm sure, remember his Long Tusk Cub trigger up to 4 energy. Last card in hand, Botanical Sanctum, pass the turn back. So Sam is kind of all in right now, but he's in a good spot as Hamilton will draw a card. Not sure if it's land number 4 or not.
And I like Black not pumping the Cub there before damage. Going up to 4 energy now allows him to make a blocker on the way back with his Whirler Virtuoso, should Hamilton decide to attack Chandra with his Thopter. And the extra flyer is probably more valuable here than the extra point of damage anyway.
I like it. I like it. Good setup here for Black. Again, the one thing he is missing is black mana, but outside of that, he's actually doing pretty well for himself, as Hamilton can only pass the turn back. You have to imagine there's a removal spell at the ready. You can see the Harness Lightning in his hand as Black will draw a card. Sam's going to push his Chandra up to 6. Reveal the top card. It's a Magma Spray. Well, probably fine casting it to kill the Thopter.
Better than 2 damage here,
Yeah.
as one of his creatures comes across, and that you get the 2 damage right back.
Harness Lightning looks like it's going to go after Long Tusk Cub, as we do have an update for you in our backup match, which if we have time to jump that way, we will. It's Danny Jessup, Benjamin Nikolic, TEMUR Energy Mirror. They are going to gain number 3. They're all tied up 1-1. Long Tusk Cub bites the dust. Further Virtuoso is going to get in some damage. The follow-up here for Black is a Servant of the Conduit, which will bring 2 energy up to 6, which means that Black can make 2 Thopters if he'd like. We head back over to Michael Hamilton.
Also noteworthy now, Black with access to black mana, should one of his big plays show up.
Very true. Vraska or the Scarab God. Either one. Hamilton might be thinking of Whaler Virtuoso, excuse me, and it is in here now. He'll get some energy. Sam says, I'm going to make a Thopter.
But doesn't make the second Thopter because I think he wants to have the option to make Black Man on his turn so he can draw one of his big plays.
Harness Lightning, not a bad draw. Sam's going to plus Chandra. Let's take a look here. Spire Bluff Canal means that Michael Hamilton's going to take 2. Harness Lightning is going to take care of Where the Virtuoso. Now, I'm not sure if Hamilton remembered his energy or not from the Virtuoso trigger.
He got it. He got it.
Did he get it? Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure.
He had 2. He had to commit 1 to the Ether Hub to cast.
Got it.
He got it.
Well, here come the beatdowns.
Now, that Chandra up to 7 loyalty, threatening to go to an emblem next turn with Hamilton at 5. Very convenient.
That's a number.
That means that you are drawing to the deck.
Yes. As Michael Hamilton finally draws land number 4, it's Botanical Sanctum, which is much too late. And Sam Black going to tie things up here against Michael Hamilton. 4-color energy, TEMUR energy. They're all tied up before they get to the sideboarded games. So as Jessup and Nikolic move to game number 3, Black and Hamilton will be doing the same, and will be moving to a few messages from our sponsors. Let's look at sideboards here, folks, because that's what Michael Hamilton and Sam Black are doing as they get ready for Game 3, TEMUR Energy versus 4-color energy. And we're going to start with Michael Hamilton since he'll be on the play here for game number 3. It's 2 Negate, 2 Chandra Torch of Defiance, 2 Supreme Will, 2 Chandra's Defeat, 2 Abrade. And here come the one-ofs in Vizier of Many Faces, Commit to Memory, Lifecrafters, Beastery, Spell Pierce, and what I did not expect to say this weekend, Slice and Twain.
So, I don't know. The sideboarding to this is so curious and really depends on what you're anticipating. I think the 2 copies of Supreme Will are very easy to bring in here, the extra copy of Vizier. And past that, you know, like Lifecrafters, Beastery, Commit to Memory, Negate, Chandra's Defeat, the Spell Pierce, all these are reasonable and probably depend on play and draw and what Hamilton's expecting out of Sam's deck.
Well, here's what we know about Sam. He does not like Cub on the draw. So he's on the draw this game. Stands to reason maybe those Cubs are coming out. What for? Good question. 3 Negate, 3 Chandra's Defeat, 2 Confiscation, 2 Appetite for the Unnatural, a Magma Spray and a Braid, a Spell Pierce, a Vizier of Many Faces, a Nissa Steward of Elements. I think at the very least Nissa's coming in.
Nissa Steward, the Chandra's Defeat, the Confiscation coup. I could see maybe wanting an extra Abrade out of respect for Lifecrafters Bestiary. But again, much of this is depending on what Sam is expecting out of Hamilton's side.
Yeah, that's the big question as these players kind of go back and forth. They've got access to each other's deck lists, so they will sideboard in some obscure ways, I think. And it'll be interesting to see exactly what comes in and out of each deck as we work our way through game number 3 and beyond, as we've got at least 2 more games to play here before we crown a winner of this particular match. And perhaps that winner will be Sam Black, a player who's had so much success in Magic over the past handful of years, a 35-year-old from Madison, Wisconsin. Surprising only that we see 3 open top 8s and 1 invitational top 8, but we don't see a lot of him on the SCG Tour. We see a lot of him in the Grand Prix and Pro Tour circuit, though when he is over here, he is winning, man.
Yes.
He is winning.
Good hit rate.
Writes on extensive topics outside of Magic and looking for publication. He's a big fan of cooking, and we could put former #1 insert game here.
All over the place.
Player in the world, not just Dreamblade.
WoW Minis.
Yes.
Epic.
Yeah, runner up at the Epic World Championships, I think. It just doesn't lose at things. He doesn't lose at things. I think he's very good at board games, too, by the way.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah, just
all of them.
Every board game he'll beat you at. Is there more of a gamer in the community than Sam? It's like a serious question.
In terms of extending out and being competitive in other games that Magic players don't necessarily play,
yeah,
Sam's probably the top of the list.
Okay.
But you have Stanislav Sivka, who's an extremely accomplished chess player.
That's true.
Follow Randy Bueller on Twitter.
Yeah, he plays a lot of games
too. Just like I see these tweets every 2 weeks that are like, in Paducah, Kentucky, for a 24-person board game tournament.
Yep.
And he's just posting updates of all these random games, you know. But in terms of trying to be competitive, to hunt down prize money, I don't know of anyone who games more or has a wider range of games that they play than Sam.
And is really good at them.
And,
really good.
And the Madison crew, there's some people who are, socially adjacent to Sam who play these games as well.
It's true.
think Justin Cohen has a pretty wide range, for example. A lot of people in the Madison scene.
Love the Madison scene. Shout out to the Madison scene. Matt Severa, Ben Rasmussen, a bunch of other players up there. I'm a Madison guy.
I've never been.
I've only been one time, but the Madison scene would invade the PTQs in college I used to go to. I was always happy to see him.
I did consider going to University of Wisconsin-Madison for undergrad.
I can't forget Adrian Sullivan, too.
Adrian Sullivan, of course.
That would be a shame.
Briefly appeared at the tournament this week.
Not a great run for Adrian this weekend, unfortunately. Top 8 at our last invitational here. Didn't have a great run this time.
You get to be to Madison. I've been to Milwaukee a few times.
Been to Milwaukee a couple times. We've done some shows up there.
Yeah.
I was at the Madison Team GP in like 04 or 05. That's the only time I've ever been. It wasn't too far away from Perdon't.
I get it.
You get it. You get it.
It's like Purdue, but
yeah, but it's not.
It's a play on.
It's a play on words, isn't it? Is that what it is?
Not even. That's
not
too
words.
generous.
Yeah, it's not words.
Sounds. It's a play on sounds.
Sounds. Got it. Got it.
There it is. It's a play on sounds.
Forrest to Timothy Ether. That's a heck of a start from Michael Hamilton. That's a heck of a start. He's going to get himself an island. Per didn't. Per won't. There's a lot of jokes to make fun of that college. A tunes aplenty here to kick this thing off. See what land Sam wants to search up as he consults his hand. Per wouldn't. It's a little lengthy. But it's pretty easy to make fun. We don't win at anything.
I think you had it with Perdon't.
Well, Perdon't that's level 1.
That's the best one so far.
Bashing the Boilers.
I
think you're Rutgers. I think they beat us in things this year.
Yeah.
Which is tough.
Yep.
That's tough. Your old school Scarlet Knights.
I did not go to Rutgers.
Oh, you went to Seton Hall. Sorry, but you're a Rutgers fan.
I went to Seton Hall briefly.
Yeah, but you're a Rutgers fan for reasons I still don't quite understand.
You know who's a Seton Hall graduate?
A lot of people.
Gerard Fabiano.
Well, there you go. There you go.
We
Represent.
went to the same Institute of Higher Learning. I believe he got he was a accounting major, if memory serves. Went for diplomacy and international relations.
Teach their own.
Didn't work out.
Some things don't. As here's a Botanical Sanctum. Boom, it's a Whirler Virtuoso. That might die with the trigger on the stack. Let's see. It will. Harness Lightning going to take care of that. Michael going to go up to 5 energy after the Whirler Virtuoso. After the Whirler Virtuoso dies, so no Thopter can be made. Cool card name, hard to say. There's another one. Not going to say it again.
It's hard to sound.
Yes. Yes. We're heading back Michael Hamilton's way now for his 4th turn. Both players have plenty of energy, 5 each. Sometimes you see players cut down on the number of virtuosos they have after sideboard because of Chandra's defeat and other ways to kill it. Sometimes the 1/1s are less relevant, but we see each player's with at least 1 copy.
There's an interesting feature with the energy creatures is that they're kind of all on diminishing returns. The first Bristling Hydra, the first Servant of the Conduit, the first Whirler Virtuoso, they're all a lot better than the second one. So there's an argument for doing a little bit of shaving on all of those cards because the games go on for a long time, and the second copy of most of these cards just isn't very good.
Interesting play here from Hamilton. I believe he's casting Harness Lightning in response to the Ether Hub trigger, which would have brought Sam up to 6 energy when he was at 5, which means he could have made 2 tokens. However, he was at 5. Play the hub, trigger, kill the Virtuoso. Now the hub trigger resolves, he's up to 3, so only got to make 1 Thopter. And now for Sam, you got to be a little bit wary of that Essence Scatter that came up in the last game too, depending on which creature you want to play.
2 negates in the sideboard as well.
Yeah.
Could very easily be there.
Servant of the Conduit going to come down. No attacks, of course, because the Thopter token is summoning sick, and we head back over to Michael Hamilton. See what he's gotten lined up here. That's land number 5, just a forest past the turn back. Looks like we're going back Sam's way now. He'll play land number 5. Here's an attack for 3. Hamilton going to fall down to 17. What do we have here for Sam? A Virtuoso. It's going to be a Supreme Will that takes care of that one. Okay.
Interesting there from Sam, as he could have played that pre-combat with the sort of the conduit still available,
Sure.
and not exposed it to the Supreme Will.
Now this is interesting.
Sam also might have been happy to bait him there if he has some big play as a follow-up.
Lifecrafter's Bestiary is the play. Here's Virtuoso again. That's going to resolve. We take a look at the Bestiary. 3-mana artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, scry 1. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you may pay a green. If you do, draw a card. If this game goes long, this card's great.
Mm-hmm.
And if it does not get abraded, of course it's great. Now Sam does not have a braid. He looks like he has a Harness Lightning, a Magma Spray, and a Vizier of Many Faces in hand as Michael Hamilton picks up a copy of Glorybringer.
Remember that it's cast a creature spell, so it does not combo with Whirler Virtuoso Thopters.
True. It's also worth noting the creature does not have to resolve.
Yes.
Virtuoso, pay a green. Sam wants to take a look. So paying the green will mean that resolves. Well, excuse me, the Bestiary trigger will resolve.
Yeah, all this happens before the Whirler Virtuoso enters the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
So no missed triggers here.
So Virtuoso is going to resolve. Sam's going to kill it with the energy trigger on the stack. Michael will make a Thopter, go from 5 energy to 2. And then the Virtuoso trigger will resolve, go back up to 5 energy, as Sam is going to make a couple of Thopters and untap. He's looking to pressure Michael a little bit here, maybe feeling as though he has a bit of an advantage.
Well, he would like to shorten the length of this game for sure, as Hamilton with that Bestiary is threatening to take over a long game. Sam also, I think, would like to keep doing this while not playing any one card that's particularly good, so Vizier of Many Faces and Confiscation Coup aren't devastating.
And that is a copy of the Scarab God from Sam Black, daring Michael Hamilton to have Vizier or Confiscation Coup, because if he does not have it this turn, he's in a world of trouble. We do have an update. Our first match is done. Danny Jessup going to win his match over Benjamin Nikolic 3-1. For Jessup, he moves on to play the winner of this match between Michael Hamilton and Sam Black. And I'm the only one who believes in Danny J in our pick'ems. Lock it in. Lock it in.
Okay.
That's right. I take it where I can get it, okay?
Okay.
Small victories.
I think Sam here willing to risk with the Scarab God here, as with Hamilton having the Bestiary, even just things like Whirler Virtuosos, Rogue Refiners, etc., will bury him in a long game. So he's just got to do something.
Yeah, I agree. Rogue Refiners with additional green draw 2 cards. Now you find a Harness Lightning. However, his land is going to end the battlefield tapped there in Spiral of Canal, so he can't play it, which means that Sam gets to have some fun now.
And that's game!
Sam gets to do his thing with Scarab God. It's funny, in a way, it is almost that simple. If you get to untap with Scarab God, it's kind of over.
And it takes a lot of the sting out of Confiscation Coup if Hamilton is drawing something or stealing something that is tapped when he gets it.
Sure. Sam says, I would like your Whirler Virtuoso, thank you. And now I'm doing a little scrying with that Scarab God trigger on the stack. And I don't want this card, so it's going to become the bottom card. And now I'll draw a card. Thank you much. And beatdowns. And we're donezo. And we're donezo. Sam Black going to win game number 2 over Michael Hamilton. 4-color energy going to take the lead against TEMUR Energy. The Scarab God, its power compels you.
Yep. That was that.
Yeah,
that was the game.
You untap with that, the game is over. Will Sam be able to do it again in game number 4? We will find out in just a moment after these messages from our sponsors. Game number 4 about to be underway here between Michael Hamilton and Sam Black. TEMUR Energy, 4-color energy, or as I like to call it, one deck with the Scarab God, one deck without.
Yeah. Pretty much. Although one deck with no black mana and a deck with some black mana in it.
That is correct. That is correct. Now, we have not seen Vraska show up just yet. That is a card that is a mirror breaker, to be sure. But to take a look at the sideboards here one more time, as these players have already decided, does anything stand out to you with regards to I want to change something on the play or the draw?
Not in a major way. I mean, maybe the Spell Pierce is a little bit worse when you're on the draw, but maybe that's not even the case.
Okay.
Sam may care about Lifecrafter's Bestiary less when he's on the play than when he's on the, it's thin stuff. I think a lot of it just comes down to, these binary questions of, are there enough Chandra to defeat target in my opponent's deck? Are they cutting too many of their red cards where this doesn't work anymore? I think the play draw stuff, other than Sam and the Long Toss Cubs, maybe Hamilton's making the same decision on his end as well, but I don't think it affects which cards in the sideboard you want. Although I guess if you're on the draw and you know your opponent has Cub, maybe you want some more of your cheap removal than when you're on the play and they don't have Cub. I don't know. I don't know.
You know what you haven't got to do all weekend? Overselling advertisement.
Sweet, let's go ahead and do it.
It's your time right now. It's your time to shine. It is the StarCityGames.com holiday sale. We got huge savings on hundreds of new items, Patrick. Hundreds added daily.
It's really exciting. Head over to go.starcitygames.com/holiday sale. New stuff is added to the site all the time, so make sure to be checking back periodically, see what's on sale, like Underground Sea, Vampiric Tutor, Nicol Bolas, a foil Saga Plains, Tarmogoyf sleeves, creature collections, Noble Hierarch playmats, a Ram playmat, Amonkhet and Ixalan booster boxes that are full but not sealed somehow. They're on display. Anyhow, this and much more on sale right now at go.starcitygames.com/holiday sale, all the way through January 2nd.
Yeah, so even into the new year.
Even past the holidays.
That's right.
You can just indulge.
We just need to get rid of stuff.
You can get it. Could buy an Underground Sea for a loved one sometime in December. Buy an Underground Sea for yourself sometime in January.
Beautiful.
There you go.
StarCityGames.com/holiday sale. By the way, the Ram's name is Fleecekeeper, man.
Fleecekeeper.
A Ram playmat. That's a good
Ram playmat.
A Ram playmat. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. See, now you can check that bingo square off. Got to oversell an advertisement.
Yep.
That's your free space.
Yeah, I checked out on that. I need the board back to know.
Well, we already have our winner. Overturf won. He won yesterday.
Okay.
So good for Ryan. Bingo champion here at our Season 2 Invitational.
Well deserved.
Oh, absolutely. He earned it. He earned it.
Standard Classic competitors.
Both players taking a look at the openers here. We're going to wait here in game number 4. Winner of this match going to play against Danny Jessup, number 6 overall seed. He took care of Benjamin Nikolic 3-1 in that TEMUR Energy Mirror. So will it be Sam with his 4-color energy deck, or will it be Michael who's going to be taking a mulligan here? You know what? If one's good, Patrick, two's better. And this is his favorite one, folks. Let's talk SCG Game Night.
Oh, yeah.
Haven't got to do this all weekend. Very popular promotion. PCL has got all your info.
Well, you can head over to go.starcitygames.com/game night, find out more information. Every month, Star City Games comes out with new pins and tokens they send to the stores that are signed out for Game Night. The stores can run these local events however they want to, any format, any time of day, any day of the week. Just get players in the store on a regular basis for some fun and friendly magic. This is a Krogan Crusader you're playing for in December. We got some more kits I don't think that I've seen yet. January String Theory. I get it. It's a cat playing with yarn.
You get it.
Cool. And in February, the Fast and the Curious, because it's a monkey, and I guess we're pulling from Curious George, a famous cartoon monkey.
And a movie.
Oh, the Fast and the Furious.
There you are.
There it is.
There
it's
you are.
Synergy between two completely unrelated properties that are not related to Magic at all over at go.starcitygames.com/game night. Find the Game Night closest to you. Stores, if you want to get signed up, contact your Star City Games in-store play representative.
Call that branding right there.
That is branding. That is the act of throwing brands against a wall and seeing what coalesces.
All of it.
All of it.
All of it right there. The Fast and the Curious. I like that. I like that.
Welcome to the round 3. You have 50
Looks like maybe Sam took a mulligan as well. So players going to be starting with
both on 6.
Players going to be looking at 6 cards here. Michael has decided it will. Okay. High going to 5.
So I think 5 cards to 5 cards. Hamilton gets the better of it here. His deck doesn't need black mana, and a lot of Sam's best cards here are expensive. So I think both on 5 cards, I think that is an edge for Hamilton.
You know what happens if you win this tournament?
I do know.
Yeah? What happens?
$20,000. Likeness on a token that you get to design with Star City Games.
Like this?
Brian Koval's Monk token. Likeness on a playmat that is distributed through the local events for Star City, the IQs, through Season 1. And some number of SCG points and a qualification for the Season 1 Invitational next year.
Attaboy. Brian Koval, he won our last Invitational. He's 1/1 Monk token. That was his choice. He got a likeness on this card. A couple ways you can go about getting this thing, by the way. All open participants, all classic participants, in all orders from StarCityGames.com. $5 minimum order. Get yourself a Brian Koval 1/1 Monk token with prowess for Monastery Mentor today through those channels. I will ask you this, Patrick, as these players look at 5 cards here momentarily. What's the token you would make from winning this tournament?
So I think you could make a really funny treasure token.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Just Scrooge McDucking and the money vault or whatever. That would be really fun.
I like that.
That would be fun.
I want to be a pirate.
Pirate token's great choice.
I want to be a pirate. I want to be like, what's that movie with Tom Hanks? Where he's the pirates take his boat.
Oh, captain's.
I'm the captain now. Not Castaway.
The
Not Castaway. I don't want to be a volleyball token.
Captain something or other.
It's Captain something. I don't remember the name.
His ship is overtaken by Somali pirates.
Yeah, pirates. Yeah, I'm the captain now.
And everything ends up being fine.
Well, that's how most movies end. Yeah, because Tom Hanks can't lose. He's too nice to lose. We're underway in game number 4. As Michael Hamilton does not have a second land. Sam Black has 3 of them. He's just going to pass the turn back over to Hamilton. Hamilton still does not have a second land. And if Sam plays a creature, this game's probably over. There's a hub. And that'll do it.
So people have been critical at times of Bristling Hydra in the mirror match. Very good against opponents with 1 land.
That's true. That's true. That's analysis you can't get anywhere else.
Mulligan to 5 and then discard a hand size?
The name of the movie is Captain Phillips.
Captain Phillips.
Interesting. What's my name? Don't answer that. Don't answer that. There goes a card with text on it. Because it doesn't matter. Okay, we're done. This is an unfortunate end to things for Michael Hamilton.
It is. Hamilton, I thought, played a really tight first game, too.
I agree.
And, it's a disappointing way to go out, of course.
I think the matchup is difficult for him. Both the player on the other side of the table and the additional cards that Sam does bring to the table for the mirror, but you never want to see your tournament, your number 2 overall seed, have it end like this, as Sam is going to play another hub. He's going to come in here with the Hydras, and it'll only take 1 more attack here from Sam Black to move on to your semifinals. He'll be playing against Danny Jessup in the semifinals as Michael Hamilton gracefully extends the hand. Sam Black wins this match for Michael Hamilton 3-1. 4-color energy takes care of TEMUR energy. And for Black, this is the matchup he wants to play against. He's going to get the opportunity to do it again against number 6 overall seed Danny Jessup just a little bit later today.
Yeah, it's